Chris Jacobs here with Mecum Auctions, and today I'm about a 90-minute drive from Pittsburgh out in a rural community called Indiana, Pennsylvania. That's right, Indiana, Pennsylvania. And I'm here at Sergent Stables about to check out an amazing collection of Mopars that are going across the auction block in Kissimmee in January 24th. So come along with me as I explore the collection of Kevin Sergent. Well, Kevin, thanks for having us out here at Sergent Stables, and a very appropriate name. I know it's based on the horses that you take care of here, but we got quite the horsepower stable behind us.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun with the horses and the cars.
So take me back. If someone asked you, where did it all start, what would you say?
Well, to surprise my father when we were talking to him this morning, he didn't remember that when I was 7, 8 years old that I was in the back seat of a '68 Roadrunner when he was street racing, bang around back there, and that's before you had to be buckled in. So I don't know if it was maybe some head trauma from bouncing around back there, or just the fact that it was a lot of fun.
One of the cars that's going to be going across the auction block is kind of a tribute to that car. Slightly upgraded engine in the car that you have. Tell us about that one.
Well, that car's a '68 Hemi Roadrunner. It's black on black, beautiful car. I had that one restored. And you're correct. The one my father had was red with red vinyl seats and had a 383. It was a very fast car, but this Hemi car, as you'll see later, is a beautiful looking machine.
You've got a real kind of wide range of e-bodies. You've got the convertible Challenger, and then what I always say is my favorite Mopar, the AAR Cuda.
The AAR Cuda is pretty nice. That would be one of the last cars that I got, and I just thought it was fitting to go here. The same family owned that car for 35 years, and when you take a close look at it, it's original drivetrain in it, all original body panels, and just a nice car. And I've had probably 10 or 12 AAR Cudas, and again, this is the nicest one I've ever owned. So this is the cream of the crop in 41 years of looking at these.
Of course, the E-bodies are well represented, and so are the B-bodies. Kind of a bookend to the '68 Hemi Roadrunner that we already talked about is the black '70 Roadrunner. That's a very special car.
It is a special car because that car was bought new about 40 miles from here. I know the family. The gentleman that bought it, he was 17 years old when he bought it. He put it in his mother and father's name. They owned the car their entire life. Again, it's a car that took me a few years to convince him to trade it to me. He actually didn't want to sell it, but I traded him a Hellcat, and some cash was exchanged to acquire that car.
And that car is just a time capsule, really. You know, you've got the numbers matching drivetrain, the air grabber hood, pistol grip 4-speed, black on black, and one of my favorite little touches, the original keys. It's really cool to see that history of that car. Let's talk about probably the main feature of your collection, the wing cars. 11 of them, 10 Superbirds and 1 Daytona. And I know because they're so rare, probably the Daytona is something that you're most closely connected to. How did you acquire that car? Is that something that you were looking for?
Well, I was looking for it for probably 7, 8, 9 years. And I found a number of them, but there's some out there that aren't real. There's some in just poor condition. I didn't just want to buy one to have one. I waited till one that was really nice. A car collector down in Orlando, which I bought quite a few cars off me, called me one day, says, I got something you really want, and introduced me to the Daytona. It didn't take too long for me to hustle down to Orlando to pick it up.
And of the 10 Superbirds you have, people would probably focus on the Hemi Superbird, and we'll talk about that one in a second, but there's one car of the 10 that really stands out, and that's the Moulin Rouge.
And that was an interesting call. I got a phone call, and he says, hey, we got this pink Superbird in North Carolina. He started sending me pictures of it, and right away, I mean, I fell in love with the car. I know that they didn't make that color, but I love the pictures, and it's amazing wherever it is. You know, you had it featured out at Mecum in Harrisburg. That was the car, not the Daytona, not the matching number Hemi Roadrunner. Everybody got their picture taken in front of the pink Superbird. So
yep.
That's the one that always grabs a lot of attention.
And I guess what helps the car out a lot too aesthetically is that gorgeous white interior and the white vinyl top and the white Plymouth on the quarter panel.
Absolutely, because whenever he said pink, I was thinking of like just a big bottle of Pepto-Bismol there, but have the white interior, the top, and the stripes, it makes it a stunning looking car.
And of course, in your collection of birds, you gotta have at least one Hemi in there, and you do.
I do. I was fortunate to come across this one. It is a real Hemi car. It's been modified a lot, and it's a super fun car to drive, which maybe we'll find out later.
One car in particular is not in this room. It's actually in a different facility you have down the hill a bit. That purple Hemi Cuda is a standout for sure.
It is. That was a phone call from Ohio. From what I can tell, that car has never been advertised for sale. And is a guy that I bought several cars off of. He said, hey, I got this Cuda. It's beautiful. You need to come see it. I went out and fell in love with it, bought the car, and I brought it home. And it had this big binder in there, but it had all the Govier reports, and it actually won the Mopar Nationals. I'm like, well, he should have told me that before I paid him for the car. Might have made a couple more dollars on it, but it's an amazing car to have that kind of credential to it.
So Kevin, when you've got a collection of this value and this quality, how do you keep them all straight?
With the Mopars, I'm very comfortable. I know what I'm looking at. I know where the numbers are. I know what it's supposed to have. So I'm very comfortable looking at these cars and figuring out if it's real, if it's nice, if it's clean, if it's something that I want. Again, not every car is a number matching car, but if the quality was there, it's something that I'm interested in. And then once we get it back to the dealership, yes, I have a number of guys that help me move the cars, double check everything that I looked at, and help with the maintenance of everything.
What motivated you to make the decision to put these cars in the auction?
I still have a passion for this, and I still have cars, but this is the cream of the crop. I have 6 kids. They range in 22 to 40 years old. They really don't have an interest in these. Right now, it's just easier for me to find these cars a good home. Somebody's really going to appreciate them. I know I've enjoyed putting this together for 40 years, and obviously over 40 years, I bought a lot of cars. I bought them a lot of different ways, off individuals, off estates, and been to many different auctions. I've always been treated very, very well by Frank and Dana. My experiences there have always been very good. Frankly, I've had a good line of communication with them over the years, and I felt comfortable talking to them about this. But it was really meeting with Frank and give me the confidence that they were going to do a good job with this and find the right home for them that made it happen.
Is there one in particular that you're going to miss the most?
Oh, boy. That changes.
Tough question, I know.
Yeah, we're sitting next to this, so right now it's this car. It's just the whole time from me finding the car to restoring it and how unique it is for a 70 Roadrunner, having all the options it has. So it's going to be tough. I'm sure every one of them, as they're sold, will be a difficult time. But yeah, that's a tough choice there.
So Kevin, you got, as we mentioned, 11 wing cars, 10 birds, a Daytona, several E-bodies, several B-bodies, even an A-body in that Dart GT. 24 cars in Kissimmee 2024, is that a coincidence?
It's not a coincidence, but we added 2 today. The count's actually going to be 26 at no reserve.
Even better, 26 and 24, I love it. And you say no reserve, that instantly, gets my attention.
I know Frank and Dana. I've been to many sales, and I think they'll be well represented there. And it'll be like pulling a Band-Aid off. It'll be quick. We'll all find new homes. I'll see a bunch of smiling faces out there and go home with that memory.
I don't think I can leave without at least taking a quick spin in one of these. Is it possible to do that?
Oh, we're gonna work that out.
Awesome, Kevin. Thank you, my man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this visit to Sergeant Stables in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Next stop, Kissimmee. Hit it, Kevin.